Hundreds of thousands of people around the world believe, as all Raelians do, that we were created by advanced scientists from another planet who made us in their image. Those extraterrestrial creators mentioned in the Bible as the Elohim have continued throughout history to monitor our progress and have also sent us messengers, including Jesus.
Jesus was not just a messenger, he was the creator of it all, literally. He created everything. So, yeah, I'm just gonna pause and unpause.
The Buddha, Mohammed, and a few dozen others throughout the centuries. Each messenger brought humanity a message appropriate for the level of human understanding prevailing at the time. Our current level of knowledge prompted our extraterrestrial creators to send one last messenger, Rael. His mission is to tell human beings the truth about our origins and to communicate our Creator's desire to meet with us, accompanied by all the ancient prophets they will bring with them, as announced in various religions and traditional scriptures found on all continents.
Did you hear that? Accompanying all the ancient prophets they will bring with them. In the Bible, it specifically says there will not be just one Antichrist, but many Antichrists. Many false prophets will go and deceive people. And just imagine, the first time I watched this, I just wept. That's the honest to God truth. I just started crying because imagine being the most docile person on earth that just goes to work, comes home, has a bad relationship with her wife, kids that don't listen to him. He believes in science and that's it, he doesn't believe it. He just believes this is all a coincidence, an accident. And imagine something like this comes out. Aliens are here, our creators are here. That guy's life, all of a sudden, the bills, the payments, the debts, the car, the house, nothing matters anymore. He will focus everything he has on that message right there. So that's dangerous. This is extremely dangerous. And notice what they said, that they're the creators of man. That's like the biggest FU to God. If Lucifer, his fallen angels, and all their demon-filled children could convince something made in the image of God that the day created them, it's just funny to them. These things laugh in your face every single day. When they're in their private meetings beyond the Illuminati and all these people, when they are there together and they know the truth behind all truths, they're laughing in their face. If Satan, even if Satanists know that Lucifer is, against God and all this, he still has to have a lie in there. He can't just say, oh yeah, you're going to burn in hell for all eternity. Salvation is this simple, and that's it. Even those people that absolutely hate humanity, they're still humans. They still have a choice in being saved or not, and they're deceived. And so this, wow.
But before the Elohim officially visit us, we must build an embassy in a world of peace, which will become the third temple predicted in ancient writings.
They look like us because they created us in their image, like the Bible explained. And these people came on the earth a very long time ago. They built big laboratories, and in these laboratories, thanks to DNA and genetic combination, they created all life on earth. It means trees, animals, and man in their image. The original Bible, you can find one very easily. It's not written the first day God did that, but the first day Elohim did that. The second day Elohim did that. And in Hebrew, Elohim means those who came from the sky. They asked me if possible to build this embassy near Jerusalem, because it's for them a very important place. They had, the first laboratory was made, the Garden of Eden is in the Bible, was near Jerusalem. It's up to us. We have the choice. They are not invaders. They respect us. So they will come only if we want to welcome them. And the people who are ready will help you. We don't need to convince all the mankind. We cannot convince all the mankind. And you cannot convince. Jesus couldn't, Moses couldn't, Muhammad couldn't. So you have just to find the right people, they are at the right place, to bring them together, and they will help you. We already are 20,000, and we will build this embassy.
It says in the Bible that the Antichrist will stand in the temple. It also says that 3 spirits as frogs, looking like frogs, will go out of the mouth of the dragon, the false prophet, and the Antichrist. 3 spirits looking like frogs. So now you go and look at a normal, gray alien. What does he look like? Looks like a frog. It's so painfully obvious when you know the truth. They want the temple built near Jerusalem. See? You know what they're talking about? You can't convince all mankind. They're talking about us. The true believers in Jesus, the people who know the truth. The people that won't be deceived by this nonsense. They're talking about us. Wow. Right from the horse's mouth. I mean, this is Bible prophecy before your eyes. Okay? If you don't see what's going on here, you're blind. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Wow.
Such is the mission of Rael and those who have decided to help him, the members of the International Raelian Movement. Your country could be the host of this embassy and benefit from the tens of billions of dollars that it will bring in additional revenue. The host country will also forever have the prestige of being the one who dared welcome those who created us, and in doing so, will offer a very great service to humanity. The host country will need to grant the Raelian movement a very small amount of land, approximately 4 square kilometers, for the purpose of building a peace-loving embassy where the residents and visitors will have privacy and diplomatic neutrality. The country granting the necessary extraterritoriality and authorization for the embassy to be built within its territory will not only benefit financially, but enjoy the protection of the Elohim. It will become the spiritual and scientific center of the planet for millennia to come, and happiness will prevail within its borders. This can be your country. To know more about the Elohim Embassy project, please contact us at ElohimEmbassy.org.
You know, just the Star of Remphan with the Nazi symbol. The Nazi symbol, I believe, represents the black sun. If you go to the latest David Bowie music video, it's called Black Star. In that music video, they're mocking Jesus Christ. You can see it. He does like, sticks out his tongue, which is a sign of, dead sheep, which is us Christians. We are the sheep of Jesus Christ, and he's mocking Jesus Christ.
In this vision. After that, I saw a man standing up and being held as the God, as the real God. He was tall and thin. He had dark, long hair and dark eyes. I thought he looked like he was Jewish or Muslim, and that was because of just the way he dressed, the way he wore his hair, and the way he wore his mustache and beard. It was just the way he dressed himself made me think of someone who may be Jewish or Muslim. That doesn't mean that he is, though. Remember that. God to all. Are you listening, people? All but the select few who followed the real God, Yahweh, and the Lord Jesus, Yeshua. All right, some of us were jailed and murdered because we would not worship the Antichrist. Maitreya is the Antichrist. His name is Maitreya. That is what he's being called by his followers. Maitreya is the Antichrist.
I have a message for the people of Israel in this very crucial and important moment of the history of the people of Israel. I am on this planet to save Israel and to save the Jewish people. I am the Messiah, and I bring a message from the Elohim. They asked me to build an embassy, which is the third temple, close to Jerusalem. Israel is still protected by the Elohim. But if the government refuses the authorization to build the third temple, the embassy of the Elohim, Israel will lose this protection from the Elohim. And it means that it will be destroyed. So, if you want to know exactly what is the message of the Elohim, who are the Elohim? Those who came from the sky a long time ago to create life on earth. Read this message. It is in Hebrew, and it explains exactly what is my mission. I would like to come to Israel, but I am not allowed to go to Israel by the Elohim as long as the authorization to build the third temple, the embassy to welcome them, is not given by the government, which refused 7 times. Now we are asking every country on this planet the authorization to build the embassy. And if the embassy is built somewhere else, then a last opportunity, a last chance will be given to Israeli government to accept the building of this embassy. If they refuse again, the protection of the Elohim will be lost. The very reason why the Israeli state does exist is because millions of Jewish people want to welcome Elohim. That's the goal, the reason of existence of Israel. And they want to come back now. If you refuse it, Israel has no reason to exist. The Messiah, long awaited, is here. It's me. And it's me who will build this embassy and to give the joy to millions of Jews in the world to welcome our creators from space, the Elohim. It's your choice to accept it or to refuse it.
On the 13th of December 1973, French journalist Claude Vorilhon was driving through the volcanic area of Clermont-Ferrand, central France, when he had a sudden urge to take a walk at the Puy de la Sola. Suddenly, he noticed a bright, flashing light in the sky, heading in his direction. And as it got closer, he saw that it was made of a grey metallic substance, the shape of a flattened bell. His curiosity turned to anticipation as the machine approached him, until, when about 30 meters away, it stopped and hovered, still, just above the ground. A trapdoor opened below, unfolding into a staircase. What at first Claude thought was a child stepped down and walked straight towards him. At a loss what to do, Claude acted as a true journalist and asked, "Where do you come from?"
From very far away, and I have come to talk to you, Claude Vorilhon.
They talked. Claude was invited into the craft, and over the next 6 consecutive days, the extraterrestrial dictated a series of messages which are both clear and revolutionary. This is what the extraterrestrial said.
We created humanity. You mistook us for gods. We were the ones who started all the religions on Earth. And now that humanity is capable of understanding this, we would like you to build an embassy where we can land officially in front of everyone. A long time ago on our planet, we had reached a stage similar to the one you are in now. Our scientists were beginning to design life through the synthesis of DNA. The whole of our society watched with fascination as they created more and more sophisticated organisms, until one day they made a mistake. From then on, public opinion turned against these scientists, and they were forced to take their experiments elsewhere. They finally found a planet suitable for the creation of life. It was your Earth, and at the time had no life on it at all. It was completely covered with water and clouds.
Many ancient texts point to the work of these scientific creators. Let's open the Bible at the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 12.
They divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament.
The waters below was the ocean. The waters above were the clouds.
We dug with the help of enormous underwater explosions, creating huge holes into which the waters rushed, allowing dry land to emerge. An island formed, a continent, the original single continent.
Let the waters under heaven be gathered together into one place, and let dry land appear. Genesis 1:9.
On this single landmass, we set up 7 laboratories, one for each of our own 7 races, and began our experiments synthesizing life. We started by making simple life forms such as viruses and bacteria, and as we progressed in our research, we made more complicated organisms, plants, fish, reptiles, birds, and eventually mammals, daring each time to make an even more beautiful and sophisticated model of living art. Life did not evolve. It simply followed the inspiration of our chemical artists, who integrated and adapted each new prototype to survive in the overall ecology. Fragrances, shapes, colors, styles, textures, movements, even mating rituals were all made to have beauty, harmony, and balance. Seeing this incredible progress, opinions were divided in our government as to whether this artificial life was safe for us. Would the created destroy the creators? We decided to allow our scientists to continue their experiments as long as they did not create any intelligent life. But the temptation was too strong for these scientists and artists, who were impassioned by their work of populating a virgin world. So one day, some of them decided to disregard their orders and synthesize intelligent people like themselves.
Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Genesis 1:26.
Our government was extremely alarmed when it heard about this. How could we be sure that the human beings that had been created would not become a threat to us? For our own security, we told our scientists to keep these human beings in ignorance of any scientific knowledge. They were even told to make these people whom they had created believe that we were almighty gods, so as to be sure they would respect us.
Of every tree in the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat of it, for on that day you shall surely die. Genesis 2:17.
At the time, the human beings called these extraterrestrials Elohim, which in ancient Hebrew meant those who come from the sky. It's found in the original Bibles, but in more recent times was mistranslated by the word God. It's important to realize that this is a plural, the singular being Elohah. References to the Elohim can also be found in other ancient texts, for example, in the writings of the Hindu, Greek, Egyptian, and Amerindian civilizations. We can read even today about the many gods who had human emotions and who lived near or with these human beings. These gods talked to human beings and even had relations with them.
When our scientists created people like ourselves, opinion on our planet became divided. Could we trust human beings? But there was a group of scientists who had begun to deeply love the human beings they had made. They wished to give them scientific knowledge so that they would be able to communicate as equals. Their love grew so much that this group decided to educate some humans and reveal to them the truth that creators and created are exactly the same.
The serpent said unto the woman, Of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden you shall not surely die, for Elohim both know that in the day that you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods. Genesis 3:4.
In other words, you shall be as those you mistook for gods.
If you entered this laboratory, you would realize that we are just like you, and one day you too will create life. You are just another link in the chain. The eternal cycle of creation continues.